Shit talk a play. Now, my baby tried to get me into Lil Wayne. And it did not happen. My grandbaby. Years later, I'm going to tell you more of the story than I need to. I was listening to my Abba on MySpace because they had put up my Abba's charity videos. And so in one of the videos I was watching, and I know that charity starts at home, but my Abba kept saying it, I guess, in the, because we're on the word charity, and you have to like look up charity, and you find the synonyms, and then you have to look them up and break it down and put it into you, like connect the dots. So now my son Adonai, he is with the pink chick, and he's just going back and forth to jail, back and forth to jail. It does not make sense. If you are going to be with another nation, no, if a melanated person is going to be with anyone, and an unmelanated person is going to be with anyone, you are to go forward. If you are with someone and all you're doing is going backwards and backwards, you should not be with that person. Neither of you should be together. You are supposed to move forward. Whether you are melanated or non-melanated, that relationship should be moving forward. But they like to take over all your ships. It doesn't matter what ship it is. So this girl tries to put my son in jail, but somehow she goes to jail for beating on my son. He did not hit her back. Because one time he tried to hold her from beating him, and he just held her wrist. So she couldn't hit him until the police came. He called the police until they came. He held her wrist until they came. When they came, her wrists were red. So my son went to jail. So now my son is not beating, not trying to hold her. He is not hitting her. She is beating the shit out of him. And when they come, they see it is her. So she goes to jail. Somehow my son loses his place. This shit is like a merry-go-round. It just goes round and round and round. Really, really fast. And you can become so dizzy. Wow. So my son has nowhere to go. That it is me, my baby girl, my baby son, and, our family. But I'm just going to mention my children, okay? So it is just 3 of us there, right? So now, okay, Adana has nowhere to go. I'm listening to my Abba is saying, charity starts at home, this and that. Yeah, he is my son. So I take him in, right? And there are no arguments, there's no fighting. I can talk to Adana about how I feel. He can talk to me about how he feels. We're doing okay, AK. We're doing AK 111. Yes, we are. And Adana even knows this AK thing. So I asked him, how do you know this? It has something to do with Acadian, and it is funny. I am now getting back in touch with him, but see, my son Samson, he will not speak to me either because they have taken him over to the other side. But still, me and Samson are at peace with each other. If Samson says bad things about me, I do not hear it, and no one can say I said anything bad about Samson because I don't know what Samson is doing. I don't know anything. I know he is with a pink chick, and she looks like a caveman, and that's the only thing I say. Other than that, I don't say anything about my son because I don't know. I don't say if he is on drugs. I don't say if he is working. I don't say, oh, he's an alcoholic because I don't know these things. So I really don't even speak of him, because as I said, I buried him. So I speak of those that are buried and still walking in the graveyard. So now Adana comes in and everything. I'm going to speed this up. And he is into Lil Wayne. Although I know he has this tattoo, we talk of that and everything. As I said, we were getting along AK 111. But now we are 4, which is a foundation. We are 4. So Adonai, he's like, Iman, you should really listen to Lil Wayne. I mean, you really should listen to what he's talking about. Then he begins to, like rap some of his music and stuff like that. And then he says, okay, Iman, even if he is gay, it's not the gay man, it's the messenger. Just listen to the message. Okay. And then he tells me that, okay, so now after I listen, I say, wow, I like that song, Wow, I like that song too, Now my son Dana is sitting next to me, and he wanted to be in a montage I did, so I put him there. And now he's sitting there, and we're watching it. That's another thing too. I had support there. My family really supported me when I did these montages. I did not have to say, hey, come look and see. Hey, did you see the montage? Or put it on their page. I did not have to do that. The ones of us that were in Florida, we were AK-111. So we supported each other. And my son, Adonai, getting back to AK-111 is Acadian. 111 is the same, that there is only one parent and children. The number 2 is your sons and daughters. It could be your son, only one child, still 2. Because when you and the man come together and make a baby, you are 1. So when the babies come, they become 2. Although you can have 12 babies, you are still 1 and they are 2. You see? So there could be either one parent there or 2 parents there. It still will be a 1. And no matter how many children, there still will be a 2. Like 1, and then you have the colon, and an 11. See, because there can only be one parent. Although there are 2 parents, there can only be 1. The next parent come along, they will bring about your grandchildren. So the next parent coming along, they cannot be 1. They will have to be 2. I hope I didn't confuse you on that. My son can explain stuff like that a lot better than me. Most people can explain everything a lot better than me. So now, me and Adonai, we're talking about Acadians, right? So he also wants me to really do a Lil Wayne montage because he likes the montages that I did when I was here in San Diego. And he can comprehend them. And that's the thing. Everyone in the house could comprehend what I did. Maybe everyone could not read the writing, but Zakia could. No matter how I put it, Zakia could read the writing. She knows what this arrow means, that arrow means. She knows if it goes down and there's an arrow, she knows what that means. If there's someone standing under the stick man, she knows what that means. If the stick man has on shoes, she knows what that means. At least she used to. But they probably have stole her memory because, they are on a mission to EAT our brains. And they really want us to lose our memory. So now, then he gets me into Lil Wayne. And now my entities, they're still out there. They still are coming. And I can talk to my children. These in the house. My Adana is my third son. Then there's my baby son and my baby girl. They can understand. They comprehend a lot of things, my weirdness and stuff, So they know that the entities and all that. So once I start to doing Adonai, see, there was one. When I first got to Florida, there was an entity that was always trying to get in. Always trying to get in. Always trying to get in. And then I would not let him in. And I used to wonder, why did he always try to get in? And then I noticed that every time my grandbaby would be asleep. Well, okay, now, remember when I first got there, he was always trying to get in. I don't know if it was male or female. I just know there was an entity trying to get in and I would not let them in. Now, when Adonai comes, he introduced me to Lil Wayne. I begin to do Lil Wayne. And this is when my Abba comes to me. And he asks me to please allow them in. And when they come in, see, it's called like walk-in. You know what I'm saying? And that's what they're doing to us, with technology. They are walking in like they're doing the thing like virtually, like on a wire. But the entities can do this I'm really not going to try to explain that because that's some real deep science. However, they are duplicating the entities, and they are, when it's fake, Oh, damn. Anyways, so my Abba, he comes to me and he asks me to allow them in. So, the first my Abba asked to allow in, and this is doing Lil Wayne's, me listening to Lil Wayne's song, was Tosh. Okay? So now I let Tosh in, and they don't speak like I speak actually. Not at first. I even did a montage that has the sound in the music. I thought it was so funny. That's possibly why I did the montage, because the way they were sounding, but now I can actually hear what they are saying in my own language. So Tosh comes in and it's wooty woo woo and whatever, and then I really found out what a walk-in is to Tosh. I think it was Lil Wayne that had the missing key. At the end, yes, it said the missing symbol, and it was the missing key. However, I'm finding this stuff out, right? And Tosh tells me about a walk-in, right? And that's what they are doing on the wires. They are walking in to us. And what they do when they are walking, because we already are born, say it is that little bitty point, that you really can't see, to say it is our souls. They walk into our souls. And if they walk into our souls, then we become them. Something like that, So now I let Tosh in and then be in. So Tosh, he is getting me to know what is actually going on, like on the wire. And then there's a movie, it's called Hardwire. See, they even take me to movies to teach me things. And that's what my entities did when I was little. One time when I was little, I actually saw my entity go to my sister. And she just stood there. And my sister got up and changed the channel. And there I was supposed to watch what was there. And I did. And it was... Come on. They have a lot of movies like that. It was The Walking Dead. The Night of the Walking Dead, I think. And I think it was in black and white. And then I saw them again do someone like that. When I was initiated into the Turtle Club, I was 4. That's a long story. I'm not going to go back and tell that story. However, Jenkins and my Uncle Wes, they had this turtle. And they were trying to chopped the turtle's neck out, and the turtle was really playing a game with them. And it was a big turtle. I could have sat on the turtle and rode it. It was so big. So, every time the turtle would stick its neck out, and they tried to catch it, one would try to catch it, it would hurry up and stick it back in. They even put the turtle in the tub to see if they can do it. And I think they took the turtle back out, if I can remember. Because remember, I was only 4 now. Sometimes when I travel, pieces are missing because my memories have been filled, maybe with other things someone else said, or my memories have been filled with something else, like what is going on today. So, now, Jenkins and West is trying to kill this turtle. I was only 4. I did not laugh at the time, but now I'm looking back and seeing it as though it's a movie. It's funny. And finally, I see it was my Abba in school. His name is School. and it's SKOOL. So I thought. Later on, when you take his name backward, his name is Lux. I thought that was funny too. But actually his name was Skull. SKULL. I'll tell you about that some other time, why it's spelled like that. But all the time I was calling him School, like it was SKOOL. You turn it backward, it Lux. It was funny. So since I called him School, I'm going to call him School then. Now I know his name was not School when I called him School. I don't know why he allowed me to do that. But later on I found out his name is actually Skull. So he goes to in between Jenkins and West. And he just stands there because they do not need to open their mouths. They do not need to speak. They do not need to write. They are not 3D, so they cannot touch anything. And when they do a walk-in, they do not, I don't know, do they walk inside and talk to me? I don't know, because they appear to be on the outside and their lips do not move. You know, I can see them standing on the outside of me. But if you came along, you could not see them. You know, back in the day, they told me that they were my invisible friends. I think that was the word. So I went to tell Frankie and them about them, because I was going to tell Frankie and them about them, because I'm not to hold secrets from my parents. So they said, we are your invisible friends. And I went to tell Frankie about it, and guess what Frankie said? Oh, I see you have invisible friends. And I said, oh, okay, then it's cool. So I allowed them to teach me a lot of things. Although they were invisible and I was the only one that could see them, and still today, I'm the only one that can see them. So these people have created the same thing, except their things is on the wire, where entities are on the ether. You see? Like entities are vibrations. On the wire is frequencies. And I know people will argue and say, oh no, they are the same thing. No, they are not. A frequency, that is your F, that goes back to the man that made the towers in your book, your Bible, that made the Tower of Babel. It goes back to him. He deals with frequencies. So F also equals frequencies. Now, more with Little Wayne. Now, as I open up to Tosh, and then I find out that Tosh is the one that taught Bob Marley. And I'm like, wow. But Bob Marley sure was on the top, wasn't he? And then guess who comes in? It is Bob Marley. Because I opened up the gate. However, you just cannot get in, just getting in. No, I do the science of harm a bit before I allow you in. But Tosh, I did not need to do the science of harm a bit. My Abba asked me to allow him in. And allowing him in, he showed me certain things in the science of Hermapith. You know, like if your name is Robert, you have either been robbed or you are a robber. And so Bob's name is Roberts, but they call him Bob. So he was really, really robbed. You know? He was really, really robbed. And if I can remember it, they killed him in Miami hospital. Wow, didn't know that either. So now here comes Bob Marley. Now, and his name is M-A-R, which means that is some form of a Martian, you know? I found out his dad is a Jew. Okay, I see why you are a M-A-R. And the L-E-Y, his dad was for Crowley. So Bob Marley begins to teach me so many secrets. Now we're in the CIA. I'm like, oh my goodness, how did I wind up here? Letting these people in. Do you see what I'm saying? This is why I did not want to let them in. Now I wind up in the CIA. However, letting them in, they allow me to know that the CIA is my enemy. And this is why I need to know my enemy. So as they are on a mission, I am in the company of those that are on a mission too. People do not know. You can be more. You can be someone to hurt them more after you are dead than when you are alive. Really. This is why they are on the wire, to make people think that you have ghosts in your house. Now you out.